68 Camaro project. What we're doing right now, here's the subframe. See, it's mostly put together. We're missing the what do we call it, the bar across the front. Here's what we got right now. This is what we're working on. Of course, it's all ride tech except for that. Let's see what that is. Morganson. Here's what we got right now. These are the subframe connectors I'm working on. This is where it welds up to the back, and this is where I've got it bolted on. Lighting on that side's poor. Maybe that side's better. Weld the side. I've got to weld the top yet. That's the main reason I've got it off. BMR. The only problem I had with the BMR is I've got several subframes. This is a new subframe. These pieces will not fit on any subframe I've got. Nova, Camaro, they just won't fit. So I had to cut them in two, make them big enough to go over it, and then put them back on. You can see I got a little weld there where I had to get the hose smaller. It's, you know, whatever. These are Global West aluminum bushings. We don't want to stick rubber up in there. And I had a friend machine the thickness of this metal off. If you can see, whoops, by the aluminum color, we machined the top off. This would have set on here, so we needed to take this out of the situation. They sent one along for this. I didn't like it. It was some kind of poly. This is aluminum. That's what we want. What are we going to do next? It's kind of hard to see because this is black, but we're going to weld that on, paint our weld-proof primer at the top that we can't get to later in the car. This will be underneath the car. I'll show you in a second. This whole piece comes off. This comes out. And we need that because we're not, obviously, still working on the car. We got a lot to do. I want to put it on a rotisserie, yada, yada. And I want to weld these in. So what I want to do, I want to fill this little space right here. Now, I don't feel that I need to have it all filled up, but I want to put a piece of metal in there and weld it to the subframe. That way when this sets in there, that little piece has got something to bolt to, so this thing isn't all dependent on 3 sides. We're going to give it a 4 sides, and then this still comes off. So that's why it's hanging there like this. One of the reasons. There's another one, aluminum. That would be about the same as this one. If we look at them, you can see that how much has been machined off. Basically the thickness of that metal to make them factory. It's all nice and new, of course, because it's all brand new. Kinder Auto Body Shop. They painted it for me. It's a little dirty right now. And this stuff is all just bolted on. Everything. Like to be fine-tuned. We needed it to roll. It was at my house. As you can see, we've got old tires on here, so I had to take the disc brakes off to get it to fit. And we're going to run 18s. There's plenty of room. We got them back there. I'm sure one of my videos shows it. Now, inside the car, that's the cutout for the BMR subframe connector. You can see on the back there, when you buy floor pans now, you get a convertible floor pan. So it has these pieces in there. Cut those out. I'm going to clean this all up, put this back in. It bolts up, of course, to here. The seat frames are not installed yet. That's why we're doing the, well, it's one of the reasons why we're doing the subframe connectors now. We'll clean that all up, weld it back, put that back in, weld it back, weld it to all of this, and we'll be good to go. There's the other side. I'm doing the best I can with my lighting in this black, kind of hard to see. You can see there's the back end of the car. We leave that little piece out for two reasons. I'm probably going to tub it, and the other reason, it allows me to crawl back in the trunk when we're fitting the deck lid. It's just a whole lot easier to set the deck lid on there and put it where we want it and get in it from underneath and bolt it on, rather than up and down, up and down, up and down. We can get it real close. Okay, I'll jack the car up. We'll look underneath it. It's going to take me a little bit. Okay, a little more on the subframe connectors. I'm getting that light in there, I think, but anyway, we've got to walk underneath the car. We might as well look at these Ride Tech 4-link and the Mosier 12-bolt bolt with the big forward bearings. Of course, I've got the Wildwood calipers off because they hit these mock-up wheels. They're 15s. But what we're in here for. This is where the subframe connector is going to come through. I've got to weld this yet. I've marked where I need to grind out for weld. Once we get them on there and welded, we'll take these down, get inside there, weld that all up, block these holes off. Of course, we got to weld that. This is where it goes underneath, and this is where it bolts up. And lighting's not real good down there, but there it is. You can see that piece is gonna go in there. I don't want to get the light on it, but that's where it goes. That's gonna bolt up to the mount, to that. We looked at that earlier. There's the aluminum body mount. I'll get that. Well, I've got to weld this, paint it, do some stuff there, and then we're going to lower this down, put those on, bolt them up, and weld this in. We got a little bit of cleanup and welding to do over here. You can see these holes aren't welded. And that subframe connector is going to come all the way back to here. This will be welded all the way around up to that. We'll weld all this to the subframe connector. You can see some more of the underneath of this thing. Some more of the 4-link. This stuff is not permanent, folks, so don't worry about it. This all has to come back off. This will all be addressed again once this thing's on a, that thing's rusting a little bit, looks like. I need to paint that. I guess it's not stainless. We've got to weld this up. I couldn't get this with the brackets. I had to weld these brackets on. It's kind of sloppy, it's me. And I'm figuring on tubbing it. You can see even with this tire that I ran on it before I started this process, it's close, and I've got 275s now, but we'll address that. All that's got to come off. We'll get it on the rotisserie. We'll finish welding up everything that's under here. Our clearance for our 4-link, we've got to make a little clearance in there. We'll get that done, get it off of that, blah, blah, blah. So there it is. A little Ride Tech. Front end's hard to see. And the muscle bar's missing right now. It's all got to be gone over. The wheels don't even have grease in the bearings. It's not rolling 2 feet. I don't want the mess because it's all coming back apart, and I'll reassemble it, retorque everything. This is just for fitment. So back out of here so we don't have to look at that light. There's the car. Those big lights up there are nice, but they blind you, so there's where we go. We get in here and see if we get a look at that X-mat. There you go. How did I get that X-mat under that brace? Well, it's easy. I put it on the roof skin before I put the roof skin on, and the roof skin is partially welded and mostly panel bonding. And that stuff is something else. So, all right, let's move on to another project. Well, this project, but we're calling this the subframe connectors. A little something we're going to look at. Right now I'm getting a measurement on this, the thickness of this metal. What I want to do is, comes the rain, weld a piece in here that goes under there. Because this comes off, this stays on, and I want to support this little quarter of the mount. It is aluminum. So that has to come off. There's the thickness. 1.71 on that, 1.69 on that. Machines are digital. We're going to look at this piece of steel I found in the shop. It's obviously fatter. I like to just hold them together. Right, .190, 192, 8.1. Check metric. 4.86. I don't know if you can see that, but 4.40. I don't know if I'm going to find the exact thickness of the metal. It's only a little sliver that I want to put under there to support that. I'm going to have to weld it here. But I actually think that I could insert that piece on the chassis and then just take a flap disc or something and, you know, just cut it down. I don't know. I'm gonna look around the shop a little more for metal. We got a lot of metal laying around, but see, my weld penetrated. That's the next step. We'll get it exactly right or we won't use it. We'll bolt it on like that one is, slip it in there, see if it touches all the way around, see if we're good. Aluminum's a little forgiving, but I don't know, I just think I need to do it. So